Selamat Petang from a stormy Kuala Lumpur International Airport's Terminal 1. My name is Hugo and I'd like to welcome you back to another trip report. Today's one is a very exciting one because today I'm going to be taking a flight on board Malaysia Airlines brand new A330neo. It's supposed to be a game-changing aircraft for the airline which signals a new era. I'm going to be flying on it on a long-haul flight from here in Kuala Lumpur back to Melbourne in Australia. So without further ado, come along and let's see what Malaysia Airlines' newest aircraft has to offer. Also, I should probably mention that since I just got off that Malaysia Airlines 737 behind me, I've now got to get over to the satellite terminal, so let's go and catch the bus. Transit here was pretty well signed. The bus between the main Terminal 1 building and the satellite building works as there seems to be plenty of them, but it would be nice if the Aero train was working, especially since the buses seem to be normal public transit buses rather than airport dedicated buses, so there's not much baggage space. I think the Aero trains are actually supposed to return in the second quarter of this year, or pretty soon anyway, so that's good. And at least for aviation enthusiasts such as myself, we get a good view of some planes. We're now in the Terminal 1 satellite building, which does have shopping and places to get something to eat or drink, but thanks to my Qantas Gold status, which is equivalent to One World Sapphire, even though I was in economy, I had access to the Malaysia Airlines Satellite Golden Lounge, which I believe is their flagship business class lounge. I haven't been in there, but I think that the first class section, or One World Emerald, is to the right of the entry area, and then One World Sapphire or business class is on the left. The business class section of the lounge here is pretty big, and has a range of different seating options and also plenty of power points, and I believe there's a prayer room and also even a napping area. The selection of food is pretty incredible, which I remembered from the last time I was at this lounge, but that time, which was around breakfast time, some of the stuff I had was pretty stale. But for dinner this time it was fantastic. The beef tartare was delicious, the panini was tasty, the Vietnamese, I think it was a spring roll, was great, and I also thought that the coconut mousse and the matcha cheesecake were pretty delicious, and I enjoyed having teh tarik, since there is a barista coffee station which is fantastic. When I first wanted to have a shower not too long after I got to the lounge, they were all occupied, and they said it would be 15 to 20 minutes, I think it was. But one of them came and found me, I think only a few minutes later. The shower rooms don't look anything too special, and aren't too big, but the shower itself with the rain shower was good. I don't love the design of the door though. I know people can't see in, but it felt weird. Also, I forgot and didn't notice until the end of my stay at the lounge that there did seem to be a full bar area, which was fantastic. By the way, in the main business class section of the lounge, some of the stuff that could be made to order included pasta, noodles and sandwiches. So with those prepared or made to order things, along with a wide buffet selection, great views, the barista coffee and the bar, I think that this lounge would have to have been one of the best that I've been to. I enjoyed this lounge more this time compared to the previous time I went to this lounge. I think if I'm remembering correctly, then this would probably be in the top 3 or 4 lounges I've been to. On the way to the gate, I asked someone at an upgrade counter, I think it was, about how much it would be for this flight. He said it was full, but he seemed to think that it was normally 2,100 Malaysian ringgits. Bid upgrades before the flight started at 715 Singapore dollars, which in theory is a little bit more than the upgrade price at the counter. Now let's head to the gate and go through security screening. Because like at Singapore Changi, in the international bit of Terminal 1, security is done at the gate. There's my beautiful ride to Melbourne. 9 Mike November Hotel is a 2025 built Airbus A330-941, which was only delivered new to Malaysia Airlines on the 18th of February. And it didn't enter service until the 28th of February, so it had only been in service for about 2 weeks when I flew on it. It's the second A330neo to join Malaysia Airlines fleet. In 2022, Malaysia Airlines announced that it had ordered 20 Airbus A330-900neos
to Melbourne will commence now.
with purchase options for an additional 20 aircrafts to replace its aging fleet of A330-300s and -200s. The inaugural flight was scheduled for November 2024, a flight which I was actually planning to go on. However, the delivery of the first A330neo was delayed, and so the inaugural flight didn't take place until December.
Business class, English Platinum and One World Emerald passengers to board the aircraft now. Thank you. GRP2 passengers and Group 3 passengers, GRP3 passengers, English Gold and One World Sapphire passengers to board the aircraft now. 21 conference room to
Terima kasih.
GRP2. Yes.
Terima kasih. The boarding gate opened a bit before the boarding time. Boarding didn't start until about 25 minutes or so after the boarding time, the scheduled one that is, which I expected. While it wasn't particularly smooth, boarding wasn't that chaotic. I expected it to be worse considering what other people have said about it.
Welcome board. Right. Things will walk right there. Terima kasih. Okay. Right. Then see you road second one here.
Welcome on board one of Malaysia Airlines' new Airbus A330neos, featuring 28 Collins Aerospace elevation seats in a 1-2-1 configuration in business class. This is followed by 269 Recaro CL3810 seats in economy class in a 2-4-2 configuration. These are award-winning seats, and Malaysia Airlines is the first to have them in Southeast Asia. My first impressions once on board were, wow, it's such a beautiful modern cabin. It's cool and calming with the purple and blue colours, and the boarding music as well. Also, it wasn't strong, but it still smelt a little bit fresh. Also, the in-flight entertainment screens are huge. Throughout the cabin, the seat covers feature Malaysia Airlines' signature SIN-KUL-MEL motif. Please excuse me if I pronounce that wrong. I just found that to be a detail worth mentioning. My seat for this flight was 39A. Waiting for me on my seat was a pillow, a pair of headphones and a blanket. Each economy class seat features an adjustable headrest, both on the sides, vertically, and you can even adjust this bit for better neck support. These seats also feature little steps. Now let's go through the rest of the seat features. The legroom was fantastic. That or I'm just very used to low-cost carriers now, but I think it still must be at least 32 inches, which I do believe 32 inches is what it's supposed to have. Also, the armrests are very narrow, which helps the width to be great. On the back of the main seat back pocket, you'll find 2 smaller pouches where you can store smaller personal items, or in my case I put the headphones in there. And then here's the main seat back pocket, which contains some literature. On the back of the tray table there is a cup holder, and Malaysia Airlines does offer free Wi-Fi even in economy class, but I'll talk more about that later. There's a tray table which can be adjusted back and forth, but you can't fold it, and I wouldn't say it was small, but it also wasn't that big. As I said earlier, the in-flight entertainment screen was huge. I believe it's over 13 inches. The entertainment screen is also adjustable. and on the bottom of it you'll find a USB-A and a USB-C outlet, and also an audio port. On the side of the seats you'll find a coat hook, but what you won't find under the seat is a universal power socket, which while it still would be nice to have, considering there's USB-A and USB-C, it's not a big deal, but still worth noting.
My name is Frederick on behalf of Malaysia Airlines First Officer Mr. Tia. Welcome to Malaysia Airlines MH149 from Kuala International Airport to Melbourne International Airport. First of all, we would like to warmly welcome you aboard our Malaysia Airlines second latest aircraft, Airbus A330neo, to Melbourne this evening. We're headed into Melbourne International Airport with qualifying ground temperature of 25 degrees Celsius. So it's not to disturb your rest, infotainment as well as the in-flight services are covered the latest driver time and latest driver weather as we approach your 37 into Melbourne International. Thank you and enjoy the flights. Very good. 49 to Melbourne is ready for departure. Will all ground personnel kindly leave the aircraft? Cabin crew, please arm and cross-check all doors. Ahli in reach.
I managed to score an empty seat next to me, which I was excited about. The padding was great too, and the headrest was nice and comfy. Also, the seatback was more ergonomic compared to the CL3710 in my opinion.
A very warm welcome to our esteemed Enrich and One World Frequent Flight members. The commander of this flight is Captain Gregory Go, and our flight time to Melbourne is 7 hours 35 minutes.
It's now time for pushback about 2 minutes early.
Electronic devices must be switched to flight mode. Store and secure large electronic devices in the overhead compartment before takeoff. As a safety measure, the cabin lights will be dim for takeoff. Call us if you need assistance and enjoy our Malaysian hospitality.
Welcome aboard Malaysia Airlines. Settle to a digger job. Let's review the main aviation safety conventions that are mentioned at the start of this flight. It's tempting to not focus, cause let's face it, you've heard this all before. This perhaps you've noticed this is not your average briefing. Alright, put your stuff away. Ladies and gentlemen, if you haven't already done so, please stow your carry-on luggage underneath the seat in front of you or in an overhead compartment.
It's really not that difficult. Seatbelts are mystical, but since we're being careful, let's recap. Insert the metal tip into the buckle, pull on the loose and tighten the strap.
If you want to take it off, lift up the thingamabob.
I think it's called a flap.
Is your brace position? Let's start. Is your brace position? Let's go.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have come to the end of our safety demonstration. As the safety features on this aircraft may differ from other types of aircraft, we ask that you all review the safety information card located in the seat pocket in front of you. Once again, welcome aboard Malaysia Airlines, and we hope you enjoy our Malaysian hospitality.
Well, that certainly wasn't your standard safety video. Also, I believe it was on the ground that I'd already connected to the complimentary Wi-Fi. Malaysia Airlines offers complimentary unlimited Wi-Fi, which was easy to connect to. You don't need a frequent flyer or anything. That's something I really appreciate. By the way, if you're enjoying this video so far and would like to see more like it, please consider liking and subscribing, as I would really appreciate it, and it would help me and the channel out so much by telling YouTube that you like this video, which will mean it's more likely to show it to more people. But if you don't want to do any of that though, then that's completely okay.
Be seated for takeoff.
It's now time for takeoff on I think runway 32 left.
dilihat oleh anak kapal. Celah-celah tempat duduk dilakukan penggunaan fungsi kawalan tempat duduk tersebut. Sila panggil anak-anak kapal untuk mendapat hidangan.
Now that we're in the air, it's time for a quick lavatory review. The lavatory I first visited was a good size. I liked the step thing for the bin. There wasn't really any additional amenities though.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, ensure your seatbelt is fastened and visible to our crew for safety during turbulence. Infants must be carried out from the bassinets and to be secured with an infant seatbelt. And hot beverages will not be served when the seatbelt sign is switched on. Wi-Fi is available on this flight. Malaysia Airlines is the first airline to offer free unlimited Wi-Fi to all passengers in all cabin classes. Refreshment will be served in about 15 minutes. And breakfast will be served 2.5 hours before landing. Duty-free sales are available on this flight. Please do enjoy our in-flight experience. Thank you.
The crew came around not long after takeoff, offering salted peanuts and apple juice, orange juice or water. The apple juice was nice, as was the peanuts and water. I do appreciate it when they give salty snacks and a drink before the main food.
Please return to your seat and fasten your seatbelt.
Now before the refreshment service, let's take a look at the in-flight entertainment screen. The in-flight entertainment screen was so big that with the seat in front reclined, I had to use the wide lens, otherwise it wouldn't all fit on the camera. The selection of movies was good, but not outstanding. A similar story with TV shows, but maybe a little less good. There seemed to be heaps of music though. The interactive in-flight mapping application is great, and the screen is also very responsive. Some of my favourite features on this in-flight entertainment screen was the Bluetooth connectivity, so you can connect your own headphones wirelessly, which I think is awesome. And there was also a wake up thing where, for example, you could choose to be woken up when there was a meal service. For the refreshment service, there was a chicken puff or a vegetarian puff. I went for the former, and there was also drinks available including beer, soft drinks, juice, water, and there was hot drinks I think, but they couldn't serve it since the seatbelt sign was on. There also might have been more alcoholic beverages, I wasn't really in a position to ask though. I got an orange juice to go along with the meal and it was nice orange juice. We were also given dessert, which I wasn't expecting. It was just little vanilla ice cream bites coated in chocolate. The curry puff was delicious and the dessert was tasty. Also, I noticed that there was a small storage compartment hidden behind the tray table, which is handy. Also, the recline was great. By the way, the pillow was pretty standard, I believe it was a single-use cover, but I liked the blanket, it was pretty good. At one point, the internet seems to have cut out over the Indian Ocean. I gather it wasn't just me, but I'm not too sure. I was woken up when the breakfast service started as requested, and I was given my pre-booked meal. On this flight, Malaysia Airlines offered its chef-on-call service, so you can pick from a bunch of meal options before the flight, many of which you can't just get on the plane if you don't book it. This is something that some airlines such as Singapore Airlines do for business class, but I don't think I've experienced this in economy class before, and I love it. I pre-booked the nasi goreng with satay, which was served alongside a croissant, as well as some strawberry yogurt, fresh fruit, a cup for a drink service which would follow, some cutlery, a bottle of water, some cream crackers, some cream cheese, and some butter. Drinks were also offered on the same cart with the non-pre-ordered meals. I think those options were frittata and sausage or chicken rendang, and maybe also nasi lemak, or maybe that was instead of the rendang, I'm not too sure. I got an orange juice as I gathered that a hot drink service would follow. The nasi goreng with satay was delicious. I think it was great that they put a dish of satay sauce with it. The croissant was great, as was the yogurt and fresh fruit. The cream crackers were also good. After the meals, tea and coffee was offered, and I gathered you could get juice or something as well if you wanted. I went for a tea. The drinks were nice, but nothing too remarkable. Also, though it's still not as good as metal cutlery, the harder plastic cutlery, which I'm guessing is reusable, was pretty good. The service was basically finished 1.5 hours before landing. I gathered that arrival cards were handed out near the start of the flight when the biosecurity announcement was on. Speaking of the biosecurity announcement, I'm not sure if I just haven't taken notice of it in the past, but I feel like they don't normally read it out at the start of the flight and then play the video at the end. But I may be wrong, I don't know.
This is the Malaysia Airlines Airbus. And good day, have a great weekend, and enjoy the airport. Thank you.
This concludes our in-flight services as we prepare for the landing. Please ensure your landing form is completed.
Entering the country. We need your help.
Sorry.
Sorry. Don't be sorry. Just declare it.
Please ensure your window shades are drawn up. If an emergency evacuation becomes necessary, leave all your belongings behind and proceed to the nearest exit. Fatality.
So as we descend into Melbourne after one incredible flight, please allow me to conclude this flight with Malaysia Airlines. Transit in KL was easy, though as I said, a train instead of the buses would make it quicker and probably even easier. The Golden Lounge in the satellite terminal, as I said, was fantastic. I really enjoyed my time there. Boarding was probably the most average part of this experience, but it wasn't bad. There was just a fair bit of waiting in line to go through baggage screening, but I think that would be the case on any wide-body flight with baggage screening at the gate. But it makes transit easier, so it's fine. Then groups for boarding was good, though they could do with some signage. Once on board, the cabin looks incredible. I believe business is especially awesome, so I'd love to try that one day. The cabin, as I said, with its cooler, refreshing colours is nice, and with the mood lighting and stuff, it's even nicer. The seat itself is fantastic, with great legroom, good width, a huge in-flight entertainment screen with cool features, and the seat back and headrest are comfy too. I didn't get a lot of sleep, but that wasn't really because of the seat, I don't think. The time when I was trying to sleep, I believe I slept well. Also, the stuff waiting on the seat was as expected really, but didn't disappoint. I didn't want to try out the headphones because it would be a waste, and there was Bluetooth, but they look pretty standard. The entertainment screen content was solid but nothing impressive. Having free Wi-Fi was awesome, and it does make a difference for me. The in-flight service overall was of a good quantity and quality for a flight like this. The chef on call is a great thing, and it's so cool to see it in economy, I think. The cabin crew were very friendly, and the service was relaxed, but not in a bad way. It was a pretty punctual flight too. I think the only reason why we arrived slightly late was because of a headwind. So overall, it was a pretty incredible experience with Malaysia Airlines. Their new A330 is impressive, and I'd be happy to fly on it long haul again, considering it's not as expensive as, say, Singapore Airlines or Cathay Pacific, and I don't think they're necessarily that much better, though that may be a different story on a different Malaysia Airlines aircraft. I think the Malaysia Airlines can be a fantastic option for flying to Australia, including with a connecting flight like what I did, because that worked well. It is worth noting that I probably had an extra awesome experience since there was no one next to me, but still, I think this would be one of the best economy class full flight experiences I've had. So in conclusion, I do think that Malaysia Airlines A330neos are great. We'll soon pull into the gate about 9 minutes behind schedule, but for now please enjoy the rest of the approach and landing on Melbourne International Airport's runway 27.
tuan-tuan dan adik-adik sekalian, selamat datang ke lapangan terbang antarabangsa Melbourne. Sila berada di tempat duduk anda dan pasangkan tali keledar sehingga tanda isyarat tersebut dipadamkan. Malaysian Hospitality kami. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome to Melbourne International Airport. Please remain seated with your seatbelt fastened until the seatbelt sign is switched off. It's been our pleasure serving you. Thank you for flying Malaysia Airlines, a member of One World Alliance, and we hope that you have enjoyed our Malaysian hospitality. Para penumpang yang telah diserahkan,
I'd like to take this time to thank you all so much for watching this video, which was a longer one compared to my more recent videos. I'd like to thank all of my incredible Patreons for helping to make these videos possible. Their support is truly so much appreciated, and I couldn't do what I do without them, so thank you so much to them.
Cabin crew, disarm all doors and cross-check.
Once again, I'd like to thank you all so much for watching. I hope you have an amazing day, and I look forward to hopefully seeing you in my next one on Saturday at 5 PM Melbourne time. Terima kasih.
Thank you. See you soon.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. Terima kasih.
Bye.